Hello incoming kindergarten parents. Welcome to Clyde Brown Elementary School. I'm Joe Russo, the interim principal here.
And I'm Elise Malloy, the assistant principal and school counselor at Clyde Brown.
And today we're going to be doing a little presentation for you, what we would be doing in person, but given our current climate, we're going to do a virtual presentation of kindergarten for you. Give you a little bit of idea of what a kindergarten day looks like, and then end the presentation with a virtual tour of a classroom so you get a sense of a little bit of what kindergarten's like. That's our plan for today.
So kindergarten is an amazing program here at Clyde Brown. We have highly qualified and trained teachers. Our teachers have been teaching kindergarten at Clyde Brown for many years. We also have trained and veteran paraprofessionals which work in the classroom with our teachers. Our school is a real supportive school environment. We really believe that we're all a community of learners and that mistakes help us to learn. It's something that is our mantra here at Clyde Brown and something that we continue to discuss and encourage in the classroom. For our whole school community, we use a PBIS framework, that's Positive Behavior Integration Systems. And what this is it's an incentive program where we use bear paws. If you see that picture right in the lower right-hand corner, that is a picture of a bear paw. And it is something that students receive when they follow our Clyde Brown core values. Our core values are taking care of themselves, taking care of others, and taking care of the environment. So whenever a teacher sees a student doing one of those three things, they receive a bear paw. And then after they get 10 bear paws, they earn a bear, which is a picture of a bear, which they take home to you. They also get their name read in the cafeteria at lunchtime to signify that they had received a bear. And then after 10 bears, our students try to work towards a golden bear, where their picture is taken and it is sent on to our televisions throughout the school. This is something that is done on the classroom level, the grade level, and the whole school level. So our whole school community gets involved in our Bear Paw PBIS program.
So kindergarten is an amazing year. You'll see so many changes in your children over the course of the year. There are new expectations because there's a work expectation, working together as a group expectation. They're going to be making some new friends, and they have a lot of old friends who they've seen for a while. But this is the time when it feels like school, and they're going to actually be doing some things in learning, and that is going to really be a big change for them and for you probably. There's some choices you have to make, whether children take the bus. There's a process for that, which we will be able to share with you when we get closer to the coming to school, as well as deciding whether they come and eat lunch here, whether they bring lunch from home or they buy, and then all the different activities, both in school and after school. This is a new learning experience. We are teaching reading, we're teaching writing, we're teaching mathematics, all the basic stuff. They'll have new teachers, not only the classroom teacher, and usually in the classroom there's also a paraprofessional, an adult who works closely with the classroom teacher and supports your children throughout the day, along with new teachers in physical education, in art, in music, library, and FLES, which is a Spanish language program that we'll talk about shortly. So there's new challenges all around. There's our academic challenges, social challenges, working together with a partner, with a group, and self-challenges. All things that the teachers are here to support you and your family with, and I think you'll find amazing growth as the year goes on. It's also a new program that they use in kindergarten called Tools of a Mind, which is sort of the wraparound program and philosophy of how kindergarten works, which we'll talk about next.
So what makes Tools of the Mind different? Tools of the Mind is a self-regulation program. It's a program that we've been using at Clyde Brown for over 10 years. And it really actually teaches children self-regulation strategies within the curriculum. It's an amazing curriculum that children absolutely love. It starts the focus at the first day that they arrive. And it's a really natural and developmental approach to learning. Students learn through groups. They also will be working on plans, and this is done through an imaginative play. Children will work in math and literacy games daily, and they will grow through group dramatization. It's a very developmental way for children to learn in kindergarten, and it really truly helps them to learn to regulate their emotions and their behavior, which then impacts and helps their learning.
So the components of the kindergarten program, beyond the academic components, this is where your children will have different teachers. The first is FLES, which is Foreign Language and Elementary School program. Starts in kindergarten and it goes all the way through 5th grade. And this is an outside of the Spanish immersion program, which begins in 1st grade. This is a way for all children in the school to get a smattering of a Spanish language throughout the grades. It is really impressive. Your children will learn to count in Spanish in kindergarten. They'll learn the names of colors, the months, things like that, basic Spanish language. And then beyond that, and this always happens in the morning, so all children who are enrolled in kindergarten, whether you're full day or half day, will participate in the FLES program. The other Unified Arts programs tend to be in the afternoon, so they are really for full day kindergarten students. So you might want to consider that if you are trying to make a choice between half day and full day. Physical education meets once a week in our new gym here with a physical education teacher. All kinds of activities, not just games, but also movement, dance, and other kinds of things. And they get to use the rock wall, which is always a big draw. Art is once a week as well. They'll learn to do some drawing techniques and work different artists, impact how they impact their art. Music is also once a week. And we have that weekly, but we also have, if you see the photo in this slide, Miss Elaine, who is an outside consultant who comes in once a month to focus on theme-related songs. Literacy learning is also what you might have remembered as library, where children come in with a literacy teacher who comes and teaches them about books, reads stories. They get to select books to bring home, to read with you, and then bring back to the school the following week. We use technology in the classroom through the use of iPads, but we also go to weekly classes to work on STEAM, which science, technology, engineering, arts, and music activities in the lab. We have a STEAM lab here, so really some engineering stuff, some robotic stuff, different things that kindergarten engineering projects will happen, and that's the project-based learning that happens through STEM as well.
So I'm going to walk you through a typical day in kindergarten. A typical day in kindergarten follows a daily schedule. Schedules are important for students and truly help them to learn. We start the day by having attention-focused activities. They're small breaks in the opening group that keep children engaged and ready to learn. They then move on to share the news, and this all takes place on the rug in the classroom, which you will notice on your tour, virtual tour. Share the news is a way to communicate with your partner about a specific topic introduced by the teacher. Children turn to each other and work on taking turns and sharing. Freeze dance is a very exciting time in kindergarten, and our students absolutely love it. It's a movement break where children dance with the music and then freeze in a specific pose when the music stops. All children really love this. The message of the day is in the beginning of the school day, where the teacher will model writing. An example would be, today we are going to have snack. The teacher models writing the lines for each word and works on some beginning sounds. Story Lab is each time we read a story, we focus on one strategy. The strategies could include character, empathy, inferences, beginning, middle, and end, etc. Scaffolded writing starts with fairy tales. Children draw a picture of a character from the story. For example, the big bad wolf from the Three Little Pigs. Children draw the wolf and then draw lines for I am going to be the wolf. If the children can write, they put in some of the beginning sounds. After fairy tales, we move on to the Magic Treehouse stories. At first, we do fact writing, and then they begin to write about Jack and Annie's adventures. Children truly love the Jack and Annie series and become very excited about it. Literacy and math centers happen daily. They focus on letters and letter sounds and numbers, and then progress to words and more complex math concepts. They are fun and the children are engaged. Choice time is a kindergarten favorite. The children have time to play with anything in the classroom. Some of the choices include blocks, drawing, housekeeping, puzzles, books, and many more. This is a great time to work on problem solving and communication skills with each other.
So there's frequently asked questions that have come up and when we have this with a meeting that's been live, and we'll try to answer some of these questions. So how will my child know where to go on the first days of school?
So what we usually do on the first few days of school, this year, we're going to be having days where students come in half days or half sessions. So half the class will begin the first day and the second half will begin the second day. And then all students will come on the day after Labor Day. We will send out information about where children will be coming in. Generally, all of our students enter through the front doors if they are parent drop-off or walkers with their families. And if they are taking the bus, they come in through door 15. Don't worry, this will be all sent out to you before the first day of school.
Do K students have lunch and recess? If you're a full day student, yes you do. You will have a lunch and a recess after your lunch. That is part of the day. There's also opportunities for some recess and playing outside in the half day at different times throughout the year. Half day kindergarten, how does this program work?
So the half-day kindergarten works, you would come in the morning just like all other students at 8:15, 8:25 arrival, and they would stay until about 11:30. Half-day students have the option of staying through lunch. So they sometimes will stay till noon or they would stay till 12:30, depending on what time our lunch is for kindergarten next year. So all half-day students will be receiving academics in the morning. And some of our academics do carry into the afternoon, but they're more extensions of the learning that children learn at the beginning of the day. As we discussed, sometimes our specials are in the afternoon, and those are things to consider if you're discussing the half-day option.
So how do K students navigate the restrooms? It's rather fairly simple in kindergarten. If they need to use the restroom during the day, there is one in the classroom, so it's very simple for them to use the restroom. There are also opportunities for the class to come as a group and use the main bathrooms as a group, and that's when they're lining up before snack. It's a way for class management, really, for the class to be able to use the bathroom and wash their hands before they eat. So that's pretty routine and easy for students to follow. Do K students come in contact with older kids? You bet, they do. And they like to see the older kids, like to see their older brothers and sisters. The K wing is separated from the older students, so they spend most of their time in the K wing with preschool and kindergarten together. However, they do travel to these other specials, and when they do, the older kids are there to see them. We also have some older students who come in and help out in kindergarten. So yes, there's some contact, but not constant contact. It's really very positive contact. How do K students manage riding the school bus?
So kindergarten students typically sit in the front of the school bus. It's just a way that our bus drivers help to know where they are. And don't worry, I know sometimes parents get very nervous about having their children ride the school bus at the first day of school. We will have staff out there to make sure that we assist and look for our kindergarten students, and we help get them into the school in a safe way. What is the tuition for full day kindergarten? So our tuition for full day kindergarten does change throughout the year. We will have information posted on the website about the full day kindergarten tuition. And yes, there is tuition assistance if available. You would need to submit your tax returns for the principal to review and see if you would qualify for a sliding scale. That will also be included on the website as a link, so that way you can look to see what that could be.
How would I gain access to school during the school day? This is the same for all families. You will need to come to the front door, park in the parking lot and come to the front door. There's a doorbell there to ring. The office staff will ask you who you are, what your interest is, and then they'll buzz you in. You'll be in the alcove in the front of the school where they'll ask you for an ID, at least the first time that you come. We scan the ID and then give you a name tag, which you'll wear while you're in the building. Upon leaving the building, you return the name tag, so that's the way we control who comes in and who comes out of the school. And then you'll do your business if you're visiting the class, reading to your students, things like that. So pretty straightforward, and again, pretty routine, especially if you have older children, you certainly know this. You may have additional questions, and if you do, you should feel free to email us at Clyde Brown, jrusso@millisschools.org.
Or Malloy, MOLLOY, @millisschools.org. So next steps, our kindergarten screening we are hoping to possibly do in June. This date is still to be determined, and we will be sending more information home about that.
And as we mentioned earlier, the first 2 days of kindergarten in September, we will have half this class come on the first day, September 2nd, and another half come on the second day, September 3rd, for another half day, and then everyone will come together for a full day on September 8th. Again, when we get closer to the date, we'll give you that information about which day your child will come to school. We're now going to have a little virtual tour of kindergarten. When we return, we'll just say goodbye.